Our chalice lighting is a poem by Mary Oliver. I happen to be standing. I don't know where prayers go or what they do. Do cats pray while they sleep, half asleep in the sun? Does the opossum pray as it crosses the street? The sunflower, the old black oak, growing older every year. I know I can walk through the world along the shore and under the trees with my mind filled with things of little importance, in full self-attendance. A condition I can't really call being alive. Is a prayer a gift or a petition, or does it matter? The sunflowers blaze. Maybe that's their way. Maybe the cats are sound asleep, maybe not. While I was thinking this, I happened to be standing just outside my door with my notebook open, which is the way I begin every morning. Then a wren in the privet began to sing. He was positively drenched in enthusiasm. I don't know why, and yet, why not? I wouldn't persuade you from whatever you believe or whatever you don't. That's your business. But I thought of the wren singing, what could this be if it isn't prayer? So I just listened, my pen in the air.
Love knocks and waits for us to hear, to open and invite. Love longs to quiet every fear and seeks to set things right. Love offers life in spite of foes who threaten and condemn. Embracing enemies, love goes the second mile with them. Love comes to heal the broken heart, to ease the troubled mind. Without a word, love bids us start to ask and seek and find. Love knocks and enters at the sound of welcome from within. Love sings and dances all around and feels new life begin.
Hi, everybody. This is my friend, Frady Cat. Can you say hi? We were just talking about the idea of listening to yourself. And sometimes listening to yourself is complicated. When I listen to myself, different parts of me react different ways, like my heart or my gut. So, Frady Cat, I've been wondering about something. If I have a friend and I found out that something that they said hurt another person's feelings because it was a racist stereotype, it can be hard to talk to my friend about that. Do you think I should tell them? No, huh? Oh, look at you. Does that hurt your stomach to think about that? Yeah. Sometimes, if you are nervous, it can make your stomach hurt. I did not know that when I was a kid. I used to think I was sick when I was nervous. But feeling nervous can make your stomach hurt too. Yeah. I'm sorry your stomach hurts right now. It is scary to confront a friend, especially if you're worried they'll get mad at you. But, Frady Cat, I feel like I would really be missing something if I didn't talk to them. even though I'm listening to the part of myself that is nervous and it is making my stomach hurt. Are you thinking about that? Oh, hi, Dragon. Look at you. You know what you remind me of, Dragon? Is being strong and brave. Oh, yeah? You're even angry. Are you thinking about the person who got hurt? It's important to me to listen to that part of myself too. I need to listen deeply to make my decision. Because if I only listen to the first thing that came up, I might really miss something. I want to make sure I'm safe, and that's the kind of thing that Fraidy Cat's warning me about. If I was in a dangerous situation, I might make a different choice. But this is about talking to a friend. Even if they get mad, they're not going to hurt me. I'm safe. So this time, Dragon, I'm going to take your advice. Oh, thanks, Dragon. You can help Fraidy Cat to feel better. And I know when I talk to my friend, I will feel better too. Because I'll feel like I did what I believe in. And I hope that makes your stomach feel better, Fraidy Cat. Because I know it does for me. It's good to see you guys make friends. Bye, everyone.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea. Move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me. Fuente de amor, ven hacia mí, y al corazón, cántale tu compasión. Sopla al volar, sube la mar, hasta moldear la justicia de la vida. Arraigame, libérame,
I want to begin by acknowledging the fact that everyone who is engaging this message today is dealing with some kind of anxiety. It is an all too common aspect of our lived lives in today's world. Technological advancement, hailed in the 1950s as the world of tomorrow, is with us today and has made our lives somehow less private and more isolated at the same time. Computers that were once the size of buildings are now in our pockets and give us seamless and constant communication with the world around us. We receive an inconceivable amount of information from each other every day, whether we want to or not. And that seamlessness of interaction and technologically driven ease gives us a certain amount of stress. But really, that's just the baseline of what we carry these days. There's very real anxiety that parents carry right now, regardless of the age of their children. I hear parents trying to make sense out of a world they always believed would hold more promise for their kids than for them, as they watch government implode, disease overtake our bodies, and the planet literally burning before us. Parents are both trying to cope and grieve at the same time. There are people who hold the burden of being targets for racial oppression in the United States, a country that is not just founded on racism, but that in many ways is the very definition of racism. Each year, it becomes more apparent that ours is an experiment in society that cannot be redirected or fixed. It must be started over without the poison of privilege and hierarchy at its core. The anxiety faced by those who have been the perpetual other in this nation is draining, defeating, and feels catastrophic and endless. There are the anxieties that are shared with me by people living with disabilities who I hear more and more expressing dismay that their lives, concerns, and needs are more and more erased as more urgent needs of the general public are addressed. But that is the basic problem of how we delete people with disabilities, even without the other things currently going on. It is the perpetual excuse of wait your turn that is now on a rampage through opportunities for access, inclusion, and visibility. There is more anxiety than I have time or breath to address in this message. I just want to make it clear that this is an anxious time, more anxious than most of us have experienced for an extended period before. And I want to acknowledge that anxiety can feel as if it is consuming us, limiting us, overpowering us, dictating to us, all of us. And so I do not have an answer to that anxiety. It is the water that I am swimming in as well. But one of the most valuable things I've learned in my pastoral training and in my deep listening training is that the journey toward wholeness begins with acknowledgement. And that's what I want to invite you into today. I'd like to offer a personal perspective, ask a few questions, and then offer a direction that may be a help. So the personal perspective I want to share goes back to the anxiety that I'm carrying now. In the last week, I've had moments of total emotional paralysis as well as manic rage. Times when I couldn't begin to calm myself down, and times when I couldn't motivate myself to act or even get out of bed. It has been a roller coaster for me. This is a combination of the news in the world, holding many different people's ongoing stories and struggles, and trying to figure out the puzzle that is virtual church for the long haul. What I've come to realize is that, for me, anxiety comes from one basic element: imbalance. That imbalance manifests in places where there is too much, too little, or complete inattention on my part. Now, this is just for me. Too much work, focus on fixing problems, time awake doing things. Too little time outdoors, too little creative expression, too little reflection. Inattention to my body, to the needs of others, to simple things. And so my journey out of anxiety becomes a challenge to regain balance and equilibrium, recognizing that I can't address every problem and that I can't always be indulging myself either. So much of the way I get out of balance comes from the stories I tell myself, which leads me to the question for you. What are the stories you tell yourself, about others? To find my balance, I have to consciously ask myself, why do I work too hard? Who told me that I needed to do that? How did I learn that behavior? And so I ask, what would it feel like to ask yourself about the stories you tell you about you? Likewise, I hear the rhetoric, the negativity in the world every day. I'm also drawn then to ask myself, what are the stories I tell myself about those people who offer messages that don't resonate with me or that I disagree with? What is it in me that receives their point of view or way of being in the world as wrong? How did I learn that? What new story can I learn so that this rhetoric doesn't put me out of balance? And so I ask you, what would it feel like to ask yourself about the stories you tell yourself about others? This direction of introspection and self-questioning brings me to the point of this message. Our theme for October is deep listening. I'm a firm believer that we cannot authentically listen deeply to others unless we first practice deeply listening to ourselves. It is a practice that does not let us off the hook easily. It's hard. It means revealing the hidden corners within and challenging our assumptions and recognizing our biases and faults. Listening, not as a mechanical exercise of the physical senses, although that can be part of it, but as an emotional and, yes, spiritual exercise of self-compassion and self-love. Imagine if we are equipped to listen deeply to ourselves, honestly listening for the pain and the joy, the anticipation and the dread of all we live with day to day, but also equipped to listen without judgment. Listening to ourselves without saying, that's not good enough, or you can do better, but rather, this is the way it is. Now, imagine that we're also equipped to take that practice into action with the world around us. I believe we would be less prone to taking a defiant stance without considering its full impact. Not that we would have doubt, but rather we would take the stance with full information and, most importantly, a commitment to recognizing the wholeness of those with whom we may be in conflict. For me, as I said, anxiety comes from being out of balance, and that's just for me. Too much, too little, inattention. Basically, my anxiety comes from not listening to myself. If I am ever to be effective in anything I do, I have to return to the practice of listening deeply, first to my me, my fears, pain, triumph, accomplishment, all of me, so that I am ready to listen to others with the same expansive capacity. This is my invitation to you. And I want to offer it as a kind of prayer. My prayer for you all in this time is that you will find time and place to recognize anxiety without empowering it. I pray that you can listen deeply to your heart. I pray that your heart speaks to you in ways that makes it safe for you. I pray that you are able to offer acknowledgement of your anxiety free of judgment, and that you receive the grace to hear the stories your heart tells you about you and your world. Above all, I pray that those stories, old or yet unwritten, recognize that you can be whole. That is all any of us asks. It is our birthright as humans in this world. I pray you listen deeply. This is our promise. Listen deeply. This is our hope. Listen deeply. You can be whole. Blessed be. Nada te turbe, nada te espante, quien a Dios tiene, nada le falta, nada te turbe, nada te espante, solo Dios basta. Nada te turbe, nada te espante, quien a Dios tiene, nada le falta, nada te turbe, nada te espante, solo Dios basta. Nada te turbe, nada te espante, solo